If you're like me, you've probably been looking at other people office spaces on YouTube, office tours, desk setups, and it's so beautiful. But like myself, I'm just starting out. So how can I appeal to or compare myself to other people like that? You know, don't get me wrong, those setups are beautiful. Those are things that we want to work up to. Having your own office space or having another room in your house that have that extra space. Unfortunately, I did that in the beginning. I took my kids, I have enough boys that they can all be in one room, but that's like, too many boys in one room cause problems at night. And so my wife says, why don't you go ahead and convert the dining room into your office / YouTube studio? And I said to myself, I said, all right, let's do that. But then, hold up. Why don't I just show you what I'm talking about? Let's go. This is my office setup. It's in my dining room and it is loud and echoey in here. The only time I can record is when nobody's around. Nobody's using the bathroom. Nobody's doing any kind of crazy stuff upstairs because, one, you can hear everything. But I'm let you listening right now to my shotgun mic to let you hear the difference. I don't have a pad behind the camera or anything like that because it is part of my dining room. What I'm gonna do right now is change from my shotgun mic to my Rode podcast mic. And here we go. As you can hear, I'm on my Rode podcast mic now. So it's not as echoey, and the best thing that you wanna do is get it close to your mouth so it is not too loud. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. And I'm going to show you how I'm using my Rode podcast mic to my camera. Let me talk about my office a little bit more. Right here is a sit-stand desk. I'd rather stand up, talk to you guys, because I've been trying to do some sit-down talks. It's not working for me. It's really not working for me. So I decided to turn my sit-stand desk to my talking head desk and product review. As you guys may see, I got some things in the mail from companies so I can review it and let you guys know how good it works. But I'm gonna put that to the side right now. So the sit stand desk is not one of those desks that you see on everybody's YouTube channel, an uplift desk or IKEA sit stand desk or anything like that. This was a desk that we found at BJ's, our local BJ's, and it was a good price. It was about, I want to say $2.99. You know, that's a decent price for a sit-stand desk that I've seen so far. Every other desk I've seen was in the thousands of dollars range. But this desk, unfortunately, if you're not shopping at your local BJ's, you're probably not going to find it again. So we found one, and of course, you can see my wife you can probably see my wife's office behind me. She wanted one too for herself because we work from home. We want to set it up where we can stand up and, not be sitting all day long. It's tiring when you're sitting all day long. So with this sit-stand desk, I decided instead of me using it for my main editing desk, I'm going to use it for my product review and my overhead rig desk and my talking head desk. So that's what we decided to do. Also, I got 2 products. I got, shout out to US Key Vision for a lot of the products that they sent me to review. Of course, they're just reviews. They're not, I get to keep the products, but they don't have no say in how I use my products or what I do with it. So on the sit stand desk, I have 2 desk mount lighting setup. when they sent me this, I was like, okay, cool. It's something I would like to see, like to check out. But what is it really? What am I going to do with it? What can I do with it? Because I have so many lights. As you can see, it's bright up in here. And then I thought to myself, okay, we're moving from upstairs in one of the rooms where I had an office to my living room. I have a bunch of C-stands, and with the C-stands come long legs that take up the whole room at the bottom. You got to use sandbags because I got little ones. I don't want them trip. I don't want the C-stand fall and hit them or anything like that. I thought to myself, why don't I go ahead and put these 2 mounts in the middle of my desk, I should say, and add MDF board across the top. I've seen other people do it in different ways. I like using the MDF board because it's flat. You can drill a lot of holes in it if you need to. And what I did was I mounted 2 lights, my 2 MC aperture lights, to make sure when I'm doing an open box product and I'm using my hands, it is lit really great. And I can use it for any type of lighting that I need going forward. And in the middle, I added a ball head that I got from Amazon so I can mount my ZV-1 as my overhead camera. Love the ZV-1 for that. Thank goodness. Plus, my wife used the ZV-1 for her talking heads. Also, I mounted a monitor mount to the back of the table where I have 2 monitors. I have a Moman monitor, which is something cheap that you can find on Amazon. And I use that to make sure my overhead shots are in focus. And I also have my Atomos Ninja V attached to the top part where I can add it to my camera in case I needed to make sure I'm in focus. Thank goodness I do have now the Sony a7S III, and it does have a flip out screen. So if you catch me, if you see me, I've been looking at that flip out screen for quite some time. I'm trying to get the hang of not doing that and making sure I'm talking to you guys in the lens. So moving along with that, next to it, you're sitting there like, okay, that's good. How are you using your lights? Right here is my key light. That's my key light. And what am I using to hold my key light up? I've seen a lot of videos on these variable poles from Impact, and I got a pack of 2. As you can see, one in the back corner here and one holding up my light. The great thing about these poles is you're not putting holes in your ceiling, you're not putting holes in your floor. It's not taking up a lot of room, but it's a pole that's holding up my key light. On my key light, I'm using the Godox SL160. I'll put their name right here. I'll link the name right here, the correct name. And I'm using the Aperture Mini Dome 2. Of course, I got many types of domes to softbox to help, but I'm in my dining room. So when you have a small space, or you don't want to take up too much space, or you don't want to look like a movie set, the Aperture Mini Dome 2 is great, and it has the grid, so the light doesn't spill all over the place. Before I move on, I'm going to talk to you guys about the podcast mic. The podcast mic, the idea came to me from my brother. I'll link his video right up above here. His channel right up above. Sorry for hitting the mic. I'll link it up. And, I saw him had the podcast mic, and that thing sound good, sound crystal clear, and it is budget friendly. So with the podcast mic, I got the Zoom H5. So straight from the podcast mic, and the Zoom H5 is great because it powers the podcast mic. Zoom H5s have that phantom power that gives the podcast mic, Rode podcast mic, enough power. So I have that going into my Zoom H5. Unfortunately, when you get the Zoom H5, it doesn't come with any memory card, so you can't record directly into it unless you have a memory card. I thought to myself, hey, I got plenty memory cards. None of them work. You got to find the right compatible cards to use in the Zoom H5. So how else can I use it? Use the wires, connect it from your Zoom H5 to your camera. and use that. Connect it in there so you don't have to sync up the audio. Simple and easy. Roadcast, and I'm using a newer $25 arm. I do want to get a nicer arm, but that's later on down the road. Moving on to the other impact pole. The other impact pole is right behind me, and I use that every day for my lighting up of the area. I live up north, so we live in older homes, and these older homes don't have lighting in the dining room or the living room. So how can I do this? I need light. We need light. So I got the other impact pole, and the great thing about these impact poles is that they can be stuck in the tightest corners of everywhere. So I got that attached with a clamp, a C-clamp, and it's holding up my lights. You know, and on that light, I'm using the Godox SL60. Again, I'll put the names right here. Godox SL60 with an aperture lantern. So I like a lot of aperture things, but I can't afford a lot of aperture lights. So the Godox lights are budget friendly and they are good. On the other variable pole, I added a C-clamp arm, and I'm waiting for my extender to come so I can get a different look to this. Because you know what they say in YouTube world, you can't keep showing me the same look every time. We got to switch it up. So I want to switch it up, but I haven't got the pole yet. I haven't got the extender yet to put that look up. So bear with me. You know, we're just starting out. We're just getting it good. Messy's better than perfect. So we're gonna work on it right now. I'm working on this. This is new. I'm new. So just like you guys, we're all new. We're gonna move on to my desk setup. My desk setup is just another cheap Amazon desk that I found pretty neat. I like it that it's long. But on my desk setup, I have hue lights that lights up the back of my monitor, and that helps when you're you know, editing for colors and all that. It you know, keeps your eyes from getting tired. On top of those hue lights, I have on the wall, I have two Nanlite Pavo tubes, the first edition 15C. I use those. The batteries in those, warning, if you ever get Pavo tubes, don't keep them plugged in overnight. Let them charge a little bit, unplug them, because it will mess up the batteries. You know, I wish I knew more a little bit about that, but I don't. You know, we're not talking tech right now. We're talking lighting, we're talking setup. You know, and the Pavo tubes are really good for when you're out. You know, you're shooting a video outside, you're doing anything, those Pavo tubes are really good. Also, I have a HomePod on my desk. It's the white HomePod. I like it because when I'm like doing my meditation or anything like that, I play music low. I'm gonna go on to the two things that I love on the walls. I have two types of paintings on the wall. You know, I have a big painting of the world, and on that painting, I love it because it was given to me from my sister for Christmas, because she knows I love to get out and travel and want to see the world. That's my thing. I want to travel. I want to take you guys on vlogs where we traveling and we looking at places, and I'm shooting videos out there. That's great. So that reminds me to get up out my chair and try to do more of these so I can take you guys all over the world with me. Next to those, I have YCIMAGING merchandise on my walls. I like his merchandise because my goal is to be a director one day. And, you know, he has these director merch. I also have the director windbreaker, you know, which you guys are going to see time from time in my videos. I love it. His merch is good. If you don't know who YCIMAGING is, I'll put his link in the description below. Follow him. Check him out. He's a really dope, talented director and film editor and YouTuber. I have his two out of three pictures on my wall. I didn't get the third one, but I love the two that we have here. And the reason why I did that is because the good book says, do unto others the way you want to be done unto you. So he was putting out his merch. No, he may not need my little funds, but hey, I supported him. And I want somebody in return to, in the future, if it comes down to it, support me too. Support me by liking and subscribing. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on, and hit that like button. I'm gonna talk to you guys about my computer. I do editing for clients. And if you don't know, check out the link above. I edit for other YouTubers. I edit for wedding companies, for film companies. I've edited a couple movies, short films. I love editing. And I'm going to take you guys through my editing process one day. So stay tuned. If you want to see more of that, please hit me up in the comment below. Let me know if you want to see more about my editing ways. I use Premiere Pro, and I use Final Cut, and I use DaVinci. All of those. It depends on what the client wants, or it depends on what I'm in the mood to do. I have a 2019 27-inch iMac. Yes, it's an iMac. I don't have an M1 chip because the M1 chip was announced a couple months after I got my iMac. But hey, I'm gonna work up to that M1 chip. I built my iMac out, spec'd up completely. It wasn't an iMac Pro, but it was pretty close to the iMac Pro. Hey, what can I say? I love it. It works for me. I've edited all the way up to 4 to 8K on here, and it does great. Yes, the fans do turn on. Yes, I do hear all that, but it still works for me. Whatever works for you, do it. You don't have to go out and blow tons of money in the beginning until your money starts flowing in. So that's it for my tour. You guys seen it. You guys seen how I had everything. Tell me in the comments, do you want to know more? Or one thing I found out doing this, changing from offices to office to office to office, painting, putting up lights, setting them up, I found out that's one of my passions. I love to work on designing offices. No, my office isn't all that fancy, all that beautiful, but it works for me. And the same way, I'm telling you, if you need any help, hit me in the comments below. I would love to help design your office for you. That's one thing I'm loving, and you find the things around to design. You don't have to go out and purchase new things and hundreds of thousands of dollars spent in the office space. You can just definitely use what you find. And you can also find good things in a thrift store. Hey, I'd rather spend it on equipment that's gonna do work for me versus an office space right at this moment. So that's one thing I found out about my passion, is definitely working with my hands. For the last week, I've been on a challenge with Think Media, and I'm putting out my first video after the challenge. It's messy. It's not that great. And I thank you guys who have stuck with me. Due to COVID in 2019, it slowed me down. And I'm not talking about financially slowed me down. It slowed me down physically to the point where I was constantly sick. Ever since I got hit with COVID, my health been going down. But I'm not going to let that break me. I'm not going to let that stop me, because I'm coming back in 2022 with more videos. My goal is to help you learn something or do something or decide to take your dining room and turn it into your studio. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, you're always welcome at Steadman's house. Oh, before I go, if you want to know more about my editing, check the link, check this video right here, that video right there. It's all about how I edit for clients. Thank you for watching. Love you. God bless. Good night. Peace.